everybody, welcome to a new video. I hope all of you are having a great day because we're having a great day. I have Andrew Hess from Earlbeck Gases and Technologies from Baltimore, Maryland. And we have a cool camera person behind the camera, Lane. How are you doing, Lane?
Great, thanks.
So today we got a sweet video for you. We're actually going to be talking about generators or generator power in general. So remember in school when they always talked about the 5 W's? Do any of you remember what the 5 W's are? I don't know if you remember what the 5 W's are.
Who, what, when, where, and why.
Exactly. Let's start off with what. So what is a generator? So for all of you that don't even know what a generator is, I think we should cover at least what is a generator. So what's a generator?
Sure. So a generator is a device that uses some sort of motor or engine to generate electricity.
You take gasoline and you put it in this tank right here and you pull the ripcord, and then all of a sudden it creates power for you. And let's say maybe you're camping or glamping, you could use a generator like this to run all your electronics, maybe your TVs, or maybe you're a fry guy. Like Andrew's a fry guy, so maybe he's taking this little mobile food truck and he needs a generator. So Andrew, who would use a generator?
Any type of contractor that does work in the field where there's not enough power available to run the equipment that they need to be able to use.
There's a wide variety of companies and people that use generators. They're very useful for areas where you need power or to run electronics or welding equipment or tools in general. The number one question I always get all the time is, what size generator should I buy for what I do? And that's a tricky question, but there's a mathematic equation that I think you use all the time as well to fit your customers in the right generator. So what's the equation?
So it's pretty simple. You need to take the input power that you have available, whether it's 120 volts or 230 volts, and multiply that by whatever amperage the equipment needs to operate off of on that voltage. So when you take the voltage times the amperage, that's going to give you the wattage required to run that piece of equipment.
Here you have all your information regarding your amps, volts, breaker size you need for the equipment. So like Andrew said, you got 120 or 230 volt, you can multiply that by the amperage, and that will give you the maximum wattage needed to run this at full capacity.
When you're running off a generator versus off building power, the generator power is not as clean as what building power would be. So when you're looking at the electrical specs on a piece of equipment, you always want to have a safety factor built in to make sure that your generator is properly sized.
Why would somebody buy or purchase a genset versus a welding generator?
So first of all, a traditional welder generator is a great option when you have someone who is dedicated to working in the field. So they never really have an option of running off building power. They always need to generate their own. The nice thing about these genset packages is that it gives someone the option of generating their own power to run the welding equipment when they need it, but then they can also use these same machines, unplug them from the generator, and run off building power.
Pretty cool. So you're saying there's a lot of versatility then?
Yeah, because it also allows us to customize the package to the end user. If you want to have one guy welding off the back of the truck with one welder, then we'll put you in maybe a 6 kW generator versus a 12 kW generator. If you want 2 guys welding off the truck, or you're just welding with a higher amperage piece of equipment, then you go to the bigger generator. We can also determine whether or not you want to MIG, TIG, or stick weld, or all three, and pair up the right welding power source with the right size generator.
What about maintenance? Is maintenance something to consider at all?
The nice thing about the maintenance and repair side of these packages is you're never completely down. So God forbid you ever have to have a welder repaired, you still have a generator, and vice versa. Two, because it is a less complex system. You know, if you think about it, there's complexity involved with mating a welder generator, right? So the less complex the system is, the easier repair cost.
It's about cost for the package as a whole. So
Same thing.
Gen set versus weld generator.
Yeah, so if you were looking for a welder generator that was comparable to what we have here, that's a 12 kW generator. You're looking to spend $6,500 to $7,000. $6,500 to $7,000. This generator paired with one welder is about $1,000 less than that.
Nice.
And then if you add one more welder to it, that gets you back up to the price of your traditional welder generator, but you're welding with two machines off the back of the truck instead of just one.
So let's go into a review of the generator, like how you start it, what kind of plugs come in it, so that way the audience knows if they were to go this route with the gen set, at least how it functions. Sure. Andrew, on the back side, I noticed there's a Honda 630 engine built right in the generator or gen set.
Yep, so that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to go with this Winco generator when we came up with the idea of this package. Is Honda's got a great reputation of being a reliable engine. So we wanted to make sure that when we developed these packages, we paired them with, you know, something that was a professional grade and that was going to stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm. And you have your key, so you're on off. You have a choke built into it. Here you can obviously add your oil, but does it come pre-service, or do they got to service it and add oil and everything when they get the units?
When you get these from us, they're turnkey, ready to go. Add
Okay.
fuel and roll.
Okay, and then there's a 6-volt battery down here in the bottom. Can you see that, Lane? Yep, 6-volt battery. So do you sell battery tenders as well with the package, or do they usually have them?
No, the batteries are actually shipped with the acid separate. So when they come into us, we add the acid to the battery and trickle charge it to give it the initial charge.
So I thought this was a 6-volt battery because it's very small, but Andrew, you looked in the manual and it is actually a 12-volt battery.
Way to go.
Men looking at manuals, losers. Here's your fuel gauge, and this is where you load in the fuel itself. It says unleaded. How big of a tank is this, Andrew?
This model comes with a 15-gallon fuel tank.
Okay, and then the other thing I noticed on here, which, everybody, I saw a picture from this guy today, and he was lifting this bad boy up into his truck with this right here. And hopefully these bolts are strong enough to lift this thing. I would assume so, because inside the tag, they've been around since 1927, Winco. So I'm sure they're trusted. So if you do have to hoist this out of your truck, you got something.
How much does it weigh?
It's a little over 500 pounds.
You know the other question I think that you're probably gonna ask? Will this pull out on a bed slide?
Depends on what the bed slide's rated for.
Oh, good point, good point. That would be kind of cool though, if you had this on a bed slide. Roll it out. Maybe Earlbecks can sell bed slides. Now we're to the point to show you, the audience, how many welding machines or amperage that we're going to be set at on the equipment and how much we can run off the generator. So Andrew, what do we have here? We have all our leads, the stinger, the ground cables. We have our pipe saddle. So me and Andrew first are going to weld on the pipe together with 2 Transpocket 180s. So Transpocket 180s, these are stick TIG units, and they run off 110 or 220 volt power. Weigh, look at this, about 19 pounds. Really light and portable, an easy lunchbox size welder to bring out in the field.
Yeah, they pair up great with these generators because they are lightweight. They come with a great carrying case. They can run on up to a 300-foot extension cord, and depending on what other equipment we have hooked up and what we're doing, we'll either run off the 120 or the 230 side.
So we have all our connectors right here. So what we're going to do is, I'll give this one to Andrew. We're going to start off by running both these on 220 volt power, since there's 2 outlets on the machine. We're going to take our Fronius connectors, plug them in, and that looks like I have the twist lock. So I'm going over here to this side. Andrew's going over there to the 50-60 amp breaker. But the plan, test one, we're gonna run 1/8 inch 7018, so we're gonna be about 125 amps each. And we're both gonna continuously weld on this. Lane's gonna film, show that we're continuously welding, but also how many watts and the use of the generator, and then we'll keep moving up as we continue. Alright, so we're at 85 amps on stick mode. We're going to bump it up to 125, 125 amps, 130% hot start. Andrew, you're at 125? 125 for Andrew. How do you do it? Test number 2, and test number 2 is a swap of the trans pocket with a trans steel 2200, multi-voltage 110-220, and it's multi-process stick TIG MIG, and we're going to run this in stick with 7018 along with the trans pocket, and we subbed in lane, so subbed in. Running in stick, and the trans pocket 180 on stick, 1/8 inch 7018, both set at 125 amps. Look at them, folks. They got the visor connects and the jugs welding cap, rocking it. Phase 3 of versatility is self-shielded flux core 035.
Let's roll.
And what we're gonna do is Andrew here is gonna replace this solid wire, put the 2-pound spool right in there. And the benefits of self-shielded flux core are?
It's less susceptible to environmental factors like wind. No shielding gas is required, so it's much more portable. You're not lugging a cylinder around anywhere.
I like it. Let's do it. So,
we're gonna switch to polarity, and we got to set it to synergic.
So what is this? This cable's our stinger. We're not using this stinger anymore. Whoosh. What is that?
Ground.
Our ground. All right, it's going. Ground's going positive.
I'll get the pigtail. I gotcha.
Pigtail is negative.
Yeah.
Grab my trusty MIG lead because I always say trusty, we're gonna jog it right here. With weld generators, they'll have welding suitcase, wire feeders. But what's cool about the Transsteel 2200, it runs on 110 or 220, so you can use it in your fab shop or out in the field with self-shielded flux core. In this situation, it represents what you can see in the field. So we got my best friend Andrew welding pipe with steel, welding pipe with stick, or you're not. Self-shielded? We're gonna do self-shielded. Oh, he's doing self-shielded. Okay, I'm doing stick.
Oh, ready to get weld pipe?
No, whatever. That was way faster than stick.
Oh yeah, a lot faster.
So that was 480 inches a minute, 035 self-shielded flux core at 2829 volts, running that machine MIG and a Transpocket 180. That concludes our generator video, and you know, Andrew already pointed out there's a lot of versatility with this thing. Pairing up different welding machines. As you see, we can run two Transpocket 180s running stick, 1/8 inch 7018 at 125 amps, and you could hook up a multi-process MIG machine which does MIG, TIG, and stick. As you see, we did stick with it, and then Andrew just ran 035 self-shielded and paired with the Transpocket 180 at 125 amps as well. So that's a lot of versatility in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so just to recap, this is basically your best option for customizing a rig to go on the back of the truck.
Correct, yeah.
We'll pair you up with the right size generator and the right piece of erroneous equipment to get the job done.
One thing to keep in mind that I've seen, you know, there is two 220 outlets, so if you're going to do any welding, stick to the 220 outlets. As far as the 110 goes, use them for your tools, your air compressors, your grinders, your boom boxes, your refrigerators, your whatever you're going to do. But as always, I appreciate you watching the video. Again, what's the name of this package here?
Pioneer Pack.
So if you want to check out the Pioneer Pack, go to the description below and check out Earlbeck Gases and Technologies. Thank you.